So, is it that time in your life yet? Do you feel like your family is complete and you and your spouse want to not worry about changing that? Well, the decision can be difficult, but the recovery doesn't have to be. After your vasectomy, you gotta get testes. Doctors usually recommend a jockstrap and ice for your boys to help with comfort. Well, testes is the best of both worlds. This is for the man who is out on the go and needs to get things done. You get the ice packs from the freezer, strap up, and saddle up. The packs give you at least 20 minutes of comfort, even if you're just sitting around watching the game. And most important, guys, no wet spots. Put on the jockstrap under your briefs and go about your day. They come in 3 sizes, medium, large, and extra large to get your right fit. Now head on over to testes.com. That's TEST-EEZE.com. TEST-EEZE.com. Your wife is going to thank you for the snip, and your testes are going to be thanking me. Hello everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of Dayspring Discussions. I'm your host Sean McGahee, and this is a show we talk about movies, TV, sci-fi, fantasy, comic books. If you geek out about it, we're gonna talk about it. You can listen to Dayspring Discussions on iTunes, YouTube, Podomatic, Patreon, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, wherever, guys. While you're there, go and rate, review, subscribe, and then don't forget to head on over to the Facebook group and Twitter account and join in the discussion. Well, hello, everyone. It is a sunny Monday here in Austin, Texas. Hope you all are enjoying your day. Not too bad myself. Got out of work, came home, just kind of trying to relax a little bit. But while I do that, there's something I wanted to talk about. So for those of you who are new or don't listen on a regular basis, there is no regular basis actually with me. We have the social media groups, the Facebook group, the Twitter account, and of course dayspringdiscussions@gmail.com. I post news on the social media groups. You can do the same as well, and we discuss stuff there. And then every once in a while, I'll come on here. If there's a subject or something that's come up that I feel like I really want to talk about, I will pop on here and talk about it. And then, of course, you guys fire back in the comments section or, of course, on Facebook and Twitter. And that's what we do. That's what it is. That's why I do this. I love to talk about it. I love to hear from you guys. You guys can post news stories there, comment, discuss. That's what we do here. So that's what I'm going to do. And on today's show, I want to talk a little bit about Godzilla vs. Kong. That's right. The first trailer for the crossover deathmatch popped up yesterday online, and it's Godzilla vs. Kong. And this is kind of a build-up that Legendary Pictures and Warner Brothers has been building up for several years now, ever since 2014 Godzilla. I think this film is going to be interesting for several reasons, some of which I'm going to talk about. And of course, you guys fire back with your opinions. But just to go back, King Kong and Godzilla, I've never been a huge fan of them. I knew them. I've seen, movies and all that stuff too. With Godzilla, I saw all the old Japanese films. I think I saw most of them though on Mystery Science Theater 3000, where they would watch them and make fun of them. That's my biggest exposure to the old Godzilla films. And then you have the, I think it was 97 maybe, the Godzilla film with Matthew Broderick in there. I remember seeing that one in theaters. I remember the soundtrack was actually pretty good on that one. And really, it was just after Jurassic Park, so you had the baby Godzillas chasing the humans around. It was pretty much just like, raptors. And it wasn't true Godzilla, as a lot of Godzilla fans have commented about it. And, it doesn't really hold up too well either. With Godzilla, again, never a big fan, but the 2014 film came out, and honestly, I still wasn't a big fan of that one either. That one had, Elizabeth Olsen, Aaron Taylor Johnson, and Bryan Cranston, which he was barely in the film. But anyway, the big kind of thing about this first one in 2014 was that there wasn't enough Godzilla. There wasn't enough monster fighting. Anytime there would be some cool monster fighting, they cut away to like people reacting to it, and it saved them money as far as special effects. I get it. We watch a Godzilla movie or a monster movie because we want to see the monsters, and it didn't have enough monsters, and the human characters weren't that interesting really. So again, another Godzilla film that I really wasn't really too taken with. And then we start hearing that, they're building up for Kong versus Godzilla, Kong Skull Island, Godzilla King of Monsters, all that was coming. And at this point, I really didn't have an interest in it. Kong Skull Island came out. I didn't see it in theaters, nor did I see King of Monsters. But a couple weeks ago, I was sitting around the house, going through HBO Max, and Kong Skull Island was in the library there. So I'm like, okay, I'll give it a chance and see, what it's all about. And I didn't love it, but it was pretty good, actually. It was better than what I thought it was going to be. Of course, the actors in it. You had Samuel L. Jackson, Tom Hiddleston, Brie Larson, John C. Reilly. I mean, it had a great cast, a decent story in it, and it was really what it was supposed to be, which is, again, a giant fight creature movie. It's kind of what you thought it was going to be. And of course, they had the tease at the end with more monsters and Godzilla and stuff like that. So it kind of piqued my interest to maybe continue in this cinematic universe and watch Godzilla King of Monsters. So that's what I did just a couple days ago because I heard the trailer for Godzilla vs. Kong was coming out. So I decided to watch that as well. And again, I was surprised. It hasn't gotten the best ratings from people that, I know, but it was decent. I will say about halfway through the film, or maybe like 3/4 of the way through the film, it kind of got a little boring for me. I will say though, with King of Monsters, it definitely made up for all the lack of monster fighting in that 2014 Godzilla film. A lot of monsters, a lot of fighting, totally get it. That definitely had all the makeup for that first film lacked, definitely. And again, a good cast. Kyle Chandler, Friday Night's alumni. I always root for Friday Night Lights alumni. I really wanted him to say Clear Eyes, Full Hearts, but I know that wasn't going to happen. Maybe we'll get it in Godzilla vs. Kong. I doubt it, but Millie Bobby Brown was in there, as well as some other people. But a decent film, which really, I think, set up the mythology of it all. And that brings us to Kong versus Godzilla, where we've established in Kong Skull Island and also Godzilla King of Monsters that both these creatures are heroic almost. They were the ones that were fighting the bad monsters in the other movies. There are humans that believe Kong is a hero. There are humans that believe Godzilla is a hero. And if you're watching the credits and the post stuff in Godzilla King of Monsters, the Titans returning is doing what I forget what the actress said her name is, what the antagonist, whatever, in Godzilla King of the Monsters, which is their radioactivity is regrowing life on the planet, which is what's her name? Hold on, I gotta look this up. It's gonna drive me crazy if I'm not gonna get this right. Vera Farmiga, she played Dr. Emma Russell. There we go. So she believed that the emergence of all these monsters would bring about new life on the planet, and she was right. As we saw in the credits or towards the end of Godzilla King of Monsters, that's what they were doing. We also saw that they were actually starting to congregate on Skull Island, where other monsters live, most notably King Kong. And we know King Kong, as they described him as well, was a creature that was still growing. He was big, the biggest King Kong we've ever seen in movies, in a version, and he was still growing, which makes sense, because if you're going to face off against Godzilla, you got to at least be somewhat the size of Godzilla to face him off. All right, so here we have a cinematic universe, 3 films in. I'm not crazy about it, but my interest is piqued, and Sunday the trailer drops for Godzilla vs. Kong. And of course, my first question is, why are they fighting? Why are these two creatures that are allegedly heroic creatures compared to all the other monsters, why are they fighting? The trailer mentions something about Godzilla, being controlled, or why is he, destroying stuff that's not like him. They bring in Kong to try to fight Godzilla, it looks like. There's some mention of, these are the 2 titans that are left in the world, is what it is. and really they're fighting for dominance, or perhaps, the fact that, like I said, maybe Godzilla is being controlled somehow. Which is not out of the question, because in Godzilla King of the Monsters, we learn that, they can be controlled through other monsters or an alpha or something along those lines. We really don't know, but I can almost guarantee it's going to be one of those things where it's a Batman versus Superman or Batman v Superman thing where, yes, these two heroes fight, but it's really somebody in the background kind of pushing them against each other. And in the end, they turn and have to fight the villain together for a team up. Who that villain is, how long they fight, I don't know. I don't see either a Godzilla or Kong, winning. It'll be a stalemate, or they'll, the Godzilla, he's under somebody's spell. The spell will be broken, and then again they'll team up. I don't see them being a winner, even though for myself, I'm probably leaning more towards Team Kong. Always been more of a King Kong guy than actual Godzilla. I mean, out of all the Godzilla and King Kong films, Peter Jackson's King Kong is probably my favorite out of all of them. So if I was cheering for someone, it would probably be King Kong, but I don't think it's going to get to that level. But with this trailer, we saw some good stuff between the two of them and fighting, and I love the shot where Kong is growling at the water, and then Godzilla pops up, be like, I ain't going to take your shit. Come on, man. With that. And then at the end, there was a very interesting scene where Kong had some kind of axe or something like that, and it was absorbing Godzilla's, I don't know, what's his not his fire breath, his plasma breath, whatever it is. It was almost absorbing that as Kong was coming down on him, a weapon of some kind. And of course, they were hinting that, their rivalry has gone on for years. Again, just digging more into the mythology. And that's one thing I liked about Godzilla, King of Monsters, is you got more into the myth and the story of how old the Titans were, what's the backstory with them, where did they come from, why has Godzilla lived for so long, all this stuff. And I think you're going to get more in this as well as to, again, why these creatures have suddenly emerged again. All those little minor details that really help build the world. So from this trailer, it looks like an action-packed film that I'm going to check out. It's a blockbuster. And that's probably the second part of what I want to talk about is we all know that Warner Brothers / AT&T Time Warner is taking their 2021 slate and not only putting them in theaters, but also putting them on HBO Max, which has got some filmmakers who made the movies a little irked, I guess, however you want to phrase it. These filmmakers, the people who made these movies, were hoping for full theatrical releases so it could be very profitable. I know Denis Villeneuve, who is doing the Dune film, he doesn't believe that, if you put Dune on HBO Max or don't give it a full theatrical release, the franchise potential will dwindle and there won't be a second film or a third or, a franchise that could happen from Dune. And honestly, I tend to agree with him. I think that's definitely possible. I think, putting these films on HBO Max at the same time they're going to be in theaters is, definitely hurting the box office, even though a lot of movie theaters aren't open right now. It's Wonder Woman 1984 was kind of the first one where you could watch it on HBO Max and you could watch it in theaters. I chose to go see that in theaters just to, support the local movie theaters. This one, it's one of those things where it's not a superhero film. So I'd automatically, any superhero film, usually I'll automatically go and see in theaters just so I can have an opinion on, because that's kind of my thing. With Godzilla versus Kong, like I said, I'm not a big King Kong or Godzilla person, but it looks like one of those films you should see in theaters because of how big and action-packed it is. After I watched Godzilla King of Monsters, the next day I watched Pacific Rim, which I love that movie because it's exactly what I love. Giant robots fighting giant monsters. The second film, no thank you, but that first Pacific Rim film is one that I remember seeing in theaters, and I was so happy that I saw it on a big screen because that's what it was made for. giant action-packed movie, and I feel like that's what this is going to be, and that's why if I have the means or anybody else has the means, you should go see it in theaters because that's how you get the full experience. But with that, like I said, it's coming to HBO Max as well, and I think it's going to be a real test to Warner Brother and Time Warner's plans for their 2021 slate. Wonder Woman was kind of, you want to say the first, penguin in the water to see how it did. It made money, but it wasn't honestly a great film. I think if it was a better film, it might have done better in the box office. But of course, with COVID, things aren't great, and theaters are struggling, which is why I try to go to the movies if I can to go see something I want to go see. I also have HBO Max as well. It's a difficult situation. I feel like compelled. I should probably go see Godzilla versus Kong in theaters because of the reasons I listed. It's a film you should see because the big giant blockbuster, monsters fighting monsters. Also, I want to support my local theater as well too. But then, like I said, it's a test to see. It's another blockbuster, or really the first blockbuster of 2021 that Warner Brothers is rolling out to see just how well their plan of theatrical and streaming at the same time is going to work. I know they're hoping to boost their subscription numbers with, releasing all their films on HBO Max at the same time as theaters. That's really what it's all about. Because honestly, come on, that's what they want. They are in constant battle or trying to catch up to Disney Plus, Netflix. They want those numbers, because that's really what the future is. I mean, let's be honest, okay? The future of movies and television is streaming. Disney Plus, Netflix, Hulu, HBO Max, Peacock, all that stuff. Where we're there, and Time Warner Brothers, they know it. They know that, if they get 200 million people paying $15-13 a month, that's where it's at. They can pay for these big blockbusters if they can get up the subscription numbers that they want. And that's what it comes down to, is this is the first test for them to see if this whole plan of 2021 releasing their films on the streaming service as well as in theaters is going to make them. At the same time, you're looking just this week, Sony and Disney have pushed back their movies. Warner Brothers hasn't done that. Why? Because they're not relying solely on their theatrical run to make them money. Warner Brothers seems to be putting all their, eggs in the basket of HBO Max, of streaming. They're trying to, again, boost their numbers, get those subscriptions. So again, while everyone is pushing their movies back till when they feel they can make the most money or more money than they can right now, Warner Brothers, as far as I know, has not pushed anything else back in the last month or two. They set their release schedules and they're planning on releasing these movies when they said they were going to. Other films by other studios have been pushed back another year or a couple more months. So that's kind of the difference right now, where their strategy versus other studios, it's going to be interesting to see this year if that plan, if that strategy is going to pay off. And I think Godzilla versus Kong is going to be one of the first tests to see if the Warner Brothers plan will work. I mean, me personally, I got to say, I like HBO Max. I probably watch HBO Max more than I had any of my other streaming services within the last few months. HBO content, Warner Brothers content, it's probably my most used app or streaming app that I watched in the last couple months. So, I look forward to the fact that I'm already a subscriber, signed up for the first day, so I got a discount for a year on my subscription too. And looking forward to these movies that I might not even seen, like Tom and Jerry. There was no way I was ever going to go to the theaters to see Tom and Jerry. I think it doesn't look good at all. But if it's going to come to HBO Max, I don't have to pay anything extra for it, and I have an 8-year-old daughter that might like it. Well, that's something I can sit down and watch with her. I mean, I probably won't enjoy it. She'll probably enjoy it more. But if it's something that, again, I can watch with my daughter and sit down and, not pay the extra for it, could be a good thing, I guess, in that mindset. So what do you guys think? First off, are you excited for Godzilla versus Kong. What'd you think of the trailer? What do you think of the cinematic universe? I think it's okay. You know, it's probably better than some other cinematic universes that, studios have been trying to do. Everyone's trying to, get that Marvel money, see how much Marvel Studios has made because of their cinematic universe. This is no different, really. It's again, they're just trying to follow the trends and follow the money. Hopefully, it'll pay off for them. And not that bad. Now that I'm all caught up, the cinematic universe itself, still don't like that first Godzilla movie, but Skull Island and King of Monsters wasn't bad for what it was supposed to be. And if that's what I'm supposed to get from Godzilla versus Kong, I'm okay with that. I'm sure I'm not going to love it, but if I sit in the theater and watch, giant monsters destroying each other on a big screen with a lot of sound, I'm a simple guy and I'll be happy with that. Okay. But also business-wise, what do you think about Warner Brothers and AT&T doing, the whole streaming and home and theater released at the same time? Do you think it's going to pay off? Do you think they're going to get more subscribers to HBO Max? How do you feel about it when everyone is, pushing stuff back because of COVID? Warner Brothers is like, nope, these are our movies. We're going to release them, and we don't have to push them back because we want people to stay at home and watch them on HBO Max more than anything so we can get the subscriber numbers. We'll see how it goes, guys. But that is it for me today. Of course, comment on the social media groups, Facebook group, Twitter account. DayspringDiscussions@gmail.com is also there for you guys. You can find me personally, Slim Dayspring 12 on Twitter and Instagram. That is it. Go out, enjoy your week, enjoy your lives, guys. And until next time, may the force be with us all.